Well, they needed a jingle for their stupid little show, so they called up the Jasons and we said, fuck no. Then they called us again and they gave us $20 and we wrote them a song that said, your podcast sucks. Then they gave us more money and they asked us really nice and we finally gave in and we said, alright, I'll write you a song, but it's gonna be a clone of a Screeching Weasel song that we heard a while ago. So we wrote them a jingle and it sounded really rad. It was the best little jingle that their podcast ever had, but the file got corrupted and the email didn't work. Now they're stuck without a jingle singing our brains in. Our brains in, our brains in, our brains in. Our brains in, our brains in, our brains in. Our brains in, our brains in, our brains in. Our brains in, our brains in, our brains in. In a very non-copyright infringing sort of way.
Tonight we were talking to Richie Ramone, back on the podcast since our first couple months doing it. He was like,
Yeah.
we started in late September and he was like our Christmas episode that year. So
Yeah, it was very early on.
he's got a lot to talk about. He had a new album drop and a movie drop in the fall of last year. He's got some movies coming out. How you doing?
Good. Doing good.
Man, you look like you're in paradise. Where are you? Is that your place?
Yeah, that's up. I have some chickens and stuff like that. So
Oh, hell yeah.
just on the out, it's in LA County, but on the edge by the 210 freeway. So
Okay, cool.
it's nice.
That is nice. How's the weather out there?
Good. It's like 70 now. It still hasn't really gotten super hot yet, which it should, but we had a lot of rain this year. And I know you guys had plenty of rain, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
lots of rain.
Yeah, my brother's in the valley. He's in Woodland Hills, and I know he had like a couple floods in his house this year. He said it was pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah, Woodland Hills isn't far from here. I'm about 15 minutes from there.
All right, cool. Last time we talked to you, it was like in the middle of COVID. It was like December of 2020. It was one of our first episodes.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I was a fucking mess then.
It was.
I was
It
a
was-
fucking mess then.
It was December. It was funny because I was listening to a little bit, just to kind of, I didn't want to like double up on questions or anything, but you had just come off of a 7-day water fast. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Mhm.
Have you done it since?
I don't think so. No, I think I did like 5. It wasn't really a water fast. It was just, it was fasting, just not eating,
Gotcha.
just to clear out my body type of thing. And
Yeah.
I really haven't done it again. I really maintained really well as far as my weight and everything. So
Nice.
it's kind of brutal,
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I
Yeah.
read stuff about, I used to be on the intermittent fasting and all this stuff. Now they say, oh, don't do that. It's like one day you can do this and then the next day you're not supposed to. So
Yeah. Yeah.
but now I'm just like the moderation guy, the old man who lives in moderation, a little of this, a little of that. And that seems to work, I guess.
Yeah. That's the
You
way
know?
to do it. Yeah. It's kind of like eating eggs. It's like every 3 months, eggs are like healthy for you. And then it's like the worst thing you could eat. And then somebody does a study,
Right.
they're like healthy, it's like,
Right. I can't keep up with it anymore.
I know. It's just like, fuck it.
Wow, it's been a long time, 4 years.
Yeah, it has been 4
Wow.
years. Yeah, I know.
yeah,
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Looking into you're super fucking busy. I mean, you just had a record drop last fall, as well as Protege Moi came out. You have a couple of the movies in the works. But first, I just want to
Yeah.
kind of get back to one of the things I like to ask, that we like to ask everybody on the show is, when did you first get into punk rock? And do you remember those first few bands that kind of got you hooked? A lot of times we ask this question, it's usually a sibling that got somebody into punk rock, or a good
No,
friend.
my sibling got me into jazz fusion. He was a horn player. So I
Okay.
was into like 8-piece horn bands when I was like 15. That's where I got all the chops and the jazz chops and the fusion chops to be able to play the punk rock beat with such finesse
Mhm.
rather than playing it like a robot. You know what I'm saying? I can make that beat swing. A lot of drummers can't make that beat swing,
Right.
and they're too rigid. But it wasn't until I moved to New York City and in 1980, really 79, 80, when all the British invasion was coming and Psychedelic Furs and all these kinds of bands were coming over there. There was a whole new whole new sound coming. Every day you go to the store and find some stuff. And that's when I really got into stomping around the village and going to Max's Kansas City and CBGB's and all that. That's when it really turned for me. Had my brother not been a sax player and was a guitar player in the MC5, because he was 5 years older than me, then that would have been a different outlook,
Right.
then it would have came to me sooner. But being in the suburbs of New Jersey, which is about 10 miles away from New York City, I wasn't exposed to the scene in 74, 75, 76. Plus, I was still a little young then. So, but really about 1980 is when it happened. And I don't know what you call punk rock anymore, because
That is true. Yeah.
it's just rock and roll. And like,
Yeah.
out on the West Coast, it's all that West Coast punk, which is like that halftime stuff, that real poppy stuff.
Mhm.
Not really, well, I don't know, not really crazy about that kind. I
Right.
like the New York style kind of stuff, and the Johnny Thunders and the Heartbreakers kind of stuff, like just that, nitty gritty kind of
Yeah.
thing. Sort of like the Ramones did. They added a little bubblegum thing to it, but it was more, swinging. It wasn't, fuck yeah. It wasn't so angst and angered and filled with hate. I
Right.
just was never into that. But it's fun to listen to once in a while, but
Yeah.
not what I like. I need a little more substance.
Yeah. Gotcha.
It's kind of funny how the difference on the coasts between like how punk rock has evolved on the West Coast and the East Coast. It's really interesting to me how how like different it is.
It's totally different. Two different things,
Mhm.
I mean, that's the kind of music I write and I like. And out here, it's kind of easier on the drummer because they're just playing halftime on the hi-hat. It's a different kind of beat,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like so many bands doing that
Right.
poppy sing-along kind of thing. I don't know, I don't know if you know what I mean, but it's like same thing, the same fucking thing, same progression, the same, hey, like all that kind of shit, And
Yeah.
I don't know. It just becomes too much for me. I need music that comes from the soul, that comes from within, that comes from deep, not something that, oh, let's do a song like that, because you
Right.
can all do a song like that, but it needs to be deep and it needs to say something, otherwise I lose interest,
Yeah.
That's why it takes me so
Yeah.
long to make records and stuff. So,
Yeah, I think that speaks to your jazz background, because I think a lot of people, when it comes to punk, a lot of people will play drums or any instrument, bass, whatever, because they want to be in a punk band. Whereas you were trained on jazz and started playing drums in a punk band. So like you said, you had those chops to kind of go along and kind of add to your style. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I had all that knowledge. I had a drum teacher in fourth grade. I read music. I was like all state snare drum in 11th grade. I was all state timpani player, sight reading one, for the whole state of all the musicians. You go and you sight read timpani parts. You know how hard that is in an orchestra because you got to
Yeah.
tune and hit it and tune. I won first in timpani and snare. For snare, I had to make a choice. So I had all this kind of like chops and ended up in a punk rock band, but I knew what to do with that
Yeah.
beat.
Yep.
I knew what to do with it. Tommy
Yeah.
didn't have to go, oh, you got to play it like this.
Right.
He just said on the first record, Tommy, I said, how am I doing? He said, oh, you're doing fucking great. That's all he had to say to me in the studio, you know? So, I mean, that's what it was about. And it gave me an explicit meter. My meter is off the charts, You can hook me up to the machine and I'd be like, whoa. When Dave Stewart did that song with me, he wanted to put us on the click track. I said, no, I got to hook up synthesizers, he said. I was like a half a beat off from the beginning to the end. He couldn't believe it. He called me the human drum machine. So, and that's what I learned from a lot of those bands coming out east in the 80s from England.
Mm-hmm.
It had a very simple, solid sound, like the drumming changed, It went from like the looseness of like a Charlie Watts and that kind of punk stuff that speeds up and slows down to this real steady kind of drumming, which was what I really adapted to, you know.
Right.
I hate to speed up and slow down, you know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that has its certain sexiness to it, you know. I understand that. But it's not my thing. I just want to be there and let's go, you know.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Hey guys, Trev from the Struggling Artist Podcast, and I want to talk to you real quick about Struggling Artist Record Club. The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to strugglingartistrecordclub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today.
How did you end up in a punk band after the old jazz stuff? Was it seeing, like, I know you just said you moved to New York in like 80. Was it seeing it all and just being like, hey, this is for me? Or was it like
I was seeing it all.
relationship?
I saw the Ramones in 1975 in New Jersey. I was like, wow, this is really interesting. You know, I just got out of high school. And but I didn't put two things together. I still played in cover bands. Why? When I was 18, I traveled the country in a cover band because it paid the bills. As soon as I went to original music, I was broke.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No?
Sadly, that's still the case. Yeah.
I want to be an original band now. Now you're
Right.
broke.
We were just talking to somebody about that the other night. It's like,
Yeah.
why do cover bands make so much more money than original bands in like the punk rock world, at least, you know?
Yeah.
No, forget it. Nowadays, boy, if you're in a cover band playing cover songs, you get good gigs. That's all people want to go out and hear now.
I know.
Sadly enough, like
It is
weird.
sad.
70-80% of the people, they just want to hear that. They just want to hear the song that they heard before. They don't give a shit how good it is, but so they can sing along. You
Right.
know, come to the show and think a little. You need to think a
Exactly.
little and dive into the music and think what's going on and watch what's going on instead of just flashing your phone at the stage, you know, and singing along like, you know, I know that, yeah. Give me another beer.
Yeah, they just want
You
something
know,
to drink
like,
to.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Right. You know? Yeah. So after I wanted to get into original music, I stopped because I had a really cool gig. My mother bought me like this Mazda car when I was like 17.
Right.
And I went in a show band, 5 sets a night. I was 18 years old. We played Sheridan Inns 6 days a week from New York to Missouri, halfway across the country. We'd stay 3 weeks at each Sheridan Inn. Okay. And then we move on to another lounge. And we had 5 sets a night with different colored suits, pink, blue, everything. Let me tell you, my fucking chops then were so fucking amazing. I was so fast and it was ridiculous. And it used to be a lot of fun because you get to know all the barmaids and everything for 3 weeks. You had these friends that you made for 3 weeks, and it's always sad to move on to the next city.
Right.
But I did that for a while, and then, you know, I don't know, I think I started banging the singer, and that was the bass player's girl. And so that fucked everything up. And so then I said, all right, I'm going home. I'm going to do original music. And that's when I went broke. But that's when I moved to New York City. I met a guy named Flash. We started a band, Remod. That single I did with them, only 100 were pressed. I think they're going for thousands of dollars now.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
It was Life of the Party and The Gay Girls Dance. Killer single, if you could ever
Cool.
find it. And we did that. And then we were CBGB's band and all that kind of stuff. The bass player was from Milk and Cookies, Sal Maida. And we were like ahead of our time. We were really new wave. Lisa Burns, she was the singer. Kind of a little ahead of our time in 1980, I think. And I was singing all the background parts with her. And, you know, so I did that for a while. And then nothing panned out. And I always said, well, how long am I going to keep doing this and playing this band and that band? And till finally, Larry, he was the drum roadie. I was hanging at the Shirts house, the Shirts with Annie Golden.
Mm, yeah.
You remember that band? They had some success, and was hanging in the studio. He said the Ramones auditioning drummers, put my name in the hat, and then Monty called me, Monty Melnick, and that's how I got into the Ramones. But I don't know. That's really how I fell into it.
Mhm.
I mean, not like, I don't know. Do you say this? I'm not like a real diehard fanboy. Sorry. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah, I
not that
gotcha.
person. I never had posters on my wall or anything.
Yeah.
I just knew that I wanted a career of this.
Right.
Sadly, maybe I should have did something else, because let me tell you, it's a rough life. The arts is not terrible, but it's a very difficult life.
It
And
is.
you gotta have a strong backbone to try to survive in the arts. Guys today, they want to play guitar in a band. Well, you got to play in 6 different bands
Yep.
to make the money to tour and all that. Or you have to like work your day job at Trader Joe's
Yep.
and play in your band at night. That's the only way, man.
Yep. You have to
The
have
only
love
way.
for it. Love for it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When-
It's a very, very, only the chosen few ever get to that
yeah.
point and forget about, like, well, I always tell my guitar player, you should be a DJ. This was years ago. Why are you even playing guitar? You're a good looking guy. Just go be a DJ. You'll do really well, but
Yeah.
he didn't listen. He wanted to play guitar.
When you moved to New York, were you in Alphabet City in the East Village?
Yeah, I did move there eventually. At first, I moved in with my girlfriend right by the UN building at 44th, the Beaux Arts building.
Okay.
It had a fireplace. That was a bitchin'
Nice.
place.
That's awesome.
We knew the guy who had it, and he rented it to us like at cost because he owned it. So, and that
Yeah.
was fun. But then I did move to Avenue A and
Mm.
910 Avenue A and 11th Street.
That was a
And-
rough place in the 80s.
Oh yeah, it was a tiny apartment, but it was all redone inside because I have this phobia of rats and mice and shit.
Mhm.
I don't like them crawling where I sleep. But this was all redone inside, little tiny apartment. That's what I got there. And you would have to step over the rats to get into the apartment. But it was that was the scene. I mean, okay, the kids today in punk rock and coming up, they never lived that scene. That was the
Right.
scene. Everybody, we all lived there. We all lived in Alphabet City. We'd all go out,
Mhm.
Here where I live now, I can go out like in my fucking pajamas to the fucking Ralph's,
Yeah,
When I
yeah.
lived in Alphabet City, man, I was like, okay, I'm fucking going outside the door. I'm not going to go out in my pajamas and slippers,
Yeah.
because, there's people there, you know what I'm saying? So it was just a cool time, and it was so great because you could just walk everywhere. You never had to have a car and
Mhm.
walk home and do a bunch of quaaludes and stumble home. It was just
It was so alive.
club
Yeah.
hop. You can club hop from place to place. It was really still happening in 1980,
Yeah.
big time.
It's funny that I've heard, I think it was either Vinny Stigma or John Joseph, they were talking about Alphabet City, and they were saying Avenue A, if you make it to Avenue A, you're adventurous. If you make it to Avenue B, you're brave. Avenue C, you're crazy. Avenue D, you're dead. So that was-
That's pretty close. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I made it to Avenue A. That was enough for me.
Yeah.
But there's something though. But the average person may be dead, but when you grew up on those streets,
Well, you get street smart real quick. Yeah.
you're not really afraid at 20 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
You're not afraid. You walk. The gangsters pick up on that stuff. They know if you're afraid. They know if you're a local or whatever. So
Yeah.
never really bothered me. But there were certain places you didn't want to go, like at 2 a.m. walking by yourself. Of course not, because then you get jumped and they take your money. So
Living in LA now, is there anything, what do you miss about Jersey and what do you not miss about Jersey?
I miss everything about the East Coast in general.
Okay.
First off, the people, the
Yeah.
food,
Oh, the food. Yeah. The food.
it's just so much. I don't know. It's just so different than living out here. Here you have to have the car here.
Yeah.
Here people are a little, what I don't like about it here is even in business, they never give you a straight answer. if I go to a meeting and I say, like when I was shopping one of my albums, they're spinning it. Oh, it's fucking great. Wow, yeah. Yeah, man. Woo. Yeah, yeah. All right, Richie, we'll call you. We'll call you. 1 week, 2 week, fucking nothing. Wait, we didn't make a decision. Like 6 weeks later, oh no, we passed. They passed when I was in that office.
Right.
They passed on the album then.
Yeah.
Tell me right the fuck then.
You just
So
fake. Yeah.
in New York, they'll tell you business wise, nah, this ain't right for me.
Right.
If you're going to an acting audition, they'll say, not next.
Yeah.
Maybe you only did 10 seconds. They'll go next. Over here, they go, oh, let him go a little longer. We don't want to hurt his feelings. That's
Right.
a little too much, So that's the biggest thing, the business side here. And but I'm so glad I didn't grow up here, because I grew up with the East Coast vibe.
Right.
And now I have it here. So right now, what am I doing? Am I going out every night? No, it doesn't matter. I go see if I have to go see a band or know somebody playing, but I'm not club hopping. I'm not, going after women and having to go out and drink and find women. So it's okay. Now I like it because there's no snow and I enjoy playing golf. So I get to do that all year long. And,
Nice.
and having the car is nice to, I don't know. You can go to the store and put something in the trunk rather than take it home on the subway.
So Live to Tell came out. It's an awesome album. I love that you did Cry Little Sister. And that kind of gets me into like the acting part. Quick question is what drew you to horror? Like what got you into horror movies? I know a lot of in the punk rock community, there tends to be like so many punks are into horror as well. And I just always wonder what that connection is. And
I don't know. Horror drew me. I drew horror. I just fell into that genre, But did you see these cheekbones? These are great horror cheekbones.
they are
They
hard.
play
They are.
great vampires. They play great all kinds of, freaks. They put a little makeup on there. I look like totally withdrawn. But the Robbie Lopez, who got me into that Head Cheese the movie, he just came to one of my conventions, my autograph shows,
Oh, nice.
and said, I want to put you in a movie. And that's how the whole thing started. And from there, I did another one with him with Protege Moore, where I was the vampire, and that's where Cry Little Sister's from.
Yeah,
because I put that on as from that movie. He wanted me to do that song remake, and then it just blossomed. Like I'm not like auditioning for roles or anything like that. It's just people. It's directors or filmmakers calling me, say, oh, I saw you in Friday the 13th Bloodlines. Can you come to this? I just got back from Kentucky last week shooting another one called The Boy from Below, and I'm the cemetery carekeeper,
nice.
I work in the
Hell yeah.
cemetery. And so that was kind of fun filming in Kentucky. And I did another one a few months ago called 2:59. Like the hour, like 3 o'clock in the morning is the witching hour, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So this is 2:59 when the demons come out. It's a true story. I have a pretty big part in that. So that should be out sometime later in the year. It takes a long time before they come out and catch up.
Right.
And I did one in Florida called Youthquake. That's kind of different. And I have one coming up called Catalyst in July in New Mexico. That's a short film. But actually playing something different. It's not horror. I'm trying to spread out. Well, I'm this farmer who's tormented and he loses his farm and he lost his wife and he ends up burning the barn down with himself in it. And it's a 20-minute short. So I'm looking forward to, that's a really emotional acting thing going on with that. So those things have just been falling in my lap. I'm not really going after them,
Yeah.
Was acting initially a passion for you, or did you like meet somebody and end up in something and then you just kind of went with it?
I never thought I would do that. It's never really a passion because there's a lot of waiting around in acting. A lot of waiting around. You have to learn how to
Yes,
wait
there is.
4 hours. Wait 4 hours till they adjust the lights to work for 10 minutes. It's kind of
Yeah. Hurry up and wait.
Matt's been filming a couple movies himself, so I told him I'm talking to 2 actors tonight. So
no, I just fell into it, but then I fell in love with it. Head over heels. I really love it. I really love it because it gets me reading more and getting into character and learning more words and learning how to, you could say one line 10 different ways,
Yeah.
so, and I guess it's new, being in the music business over 50 years. It's kind of new to me, 4 years. So that makes it exciting too, but I really do like it, it's another performance, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
totally. And it is a lot of fun. When you really kind of get into some of the characters you get to do. It's a ton of fun, but you are definitely not wrong. It is a hurry up and wait industry. My goodness.
yes, totally. It used to drive me bananas in the beginning, but now I kind of get it. And you don't really want to, like, if you're waiting, you don't want to go on your cell phone and you don't want to get out of character. You don't want to, like, go talking to people because that takes you out of the moment. So
Yeah.
basically, you're just sitting there, like, going over your lines type of thing. But yeah, I really do enjoy it. And I'm looking to do some more and meeting some more people. Music wise, I told you my drummer died Christmas night, this past Christmas, of a heart attack,
Oh,
38
really?
years old.
Oh,
Wow. 38?
Yeah.
38.
Yeah.
Damn.
We just did 4.5 weeks in South America, got home December 6th. He lives in Houston, and Christmas night he played a show, and I don't know, he started throwing up. They took him to the hospital and they couldn't revive him. His
Oh,
arteries were so hard, they were so hardened. So he had, like, something going on with him that caused him, they couldn't revive him. So
damn.
it's really sad. I had him for 5 years and he was the guy. So I'm really not touring this whole year at all.
Mm.
And I'm focusing on, I'm involved with, the publishing company and making music for movies and things like that. So that's what I'm doing now.
That's cool.
Writing, and they're taking some of my Ramone songs or some songs I've written. It's really cool. And they make different versions of them, whether it's contemporary sounding.
Oh, cool.
It's really cool. Like they got, like, Smash You that I wrote for the Ramones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, baby. Honey. Oh, don't you know you make me wanna smash you. And it's really cool because the words really stick out in these popular versions, with all the synths going and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. Then we're making different versions of songs that can get placed in commercials and TV and
Nice.
movies. And so that's kind of fun that someone believes in me and that we're doing that now. So that's cool. And the acting thing, and I don't know, that's about it really.
So what are you listening to? Like if you were to hop in your car or if you were just kind of like,
I just listen to what's on the radio really that comes on,
okay, gotcha.
and I'm not tuning into Sirius XM or any of that shit.
Yeah.
I just don't do it, like, who's this song? Not Carly Simon, the other girl singer like Carly Simon. Hate Alarm Clock. She had this song, Alarm Clock. I hate my alarm clock or something like that. And I hated this song. I was like, fuck, I hate this song. And I'll tell you, because the propaganda and payola and paying the stations,
Mm-hmm.
after I heard it like 30 times, I started loving it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the key. That's the key,
That'll get you. Yeah.
After a while, it really got to me like, oh, this does make sense because you're dreaming. She's
Yeah.
dreaming and always dreaming. And then when the alarm clock, it blows her whole dream and she's got to get up and stuff like that, and it was like, wow, it does make sense. But at the beginning, I didn't really like it. But,
Mhm.
You take my record, if somebody was pushing that and pushing Live to Tell or some of those songs on there, they'd be all over the fucking radio. It's just what it would be. They're so
Mhm.
catchy. They're so full of mental health, the lyrics in those songs. And they all have something to say, but nobody plays it. Nobody cares. You make these records for yourself
Right.
to get it out of your chest and to sell at the merch booth. But nobody gives a hoot about it or play it anywhere except Rodney Bingenheimer.
Mhm.
Well,
Thank God for Rodney, but they don't do anything because no one's behind there. The machine isn't pushing them and pushing them and
No.
playing and playing and playing, Cry Little Sister, that cover's great, even though it's 5 minutes. But fuck, a great fucking cover,
It's my
I mean-
favorite version of that song. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. all guitars, no synth on that. And I sang my cahoots off on that song, and I was impressed to get way up there. And it's cool the way it came out, and that bass line Claire thought up a doom, it's really it's really cool. But that's it. Don't expect it to do anything. Nothing. That's it. It's gone. It came, it went, and who knows? Maybe somewhere down the line, someone picks it up and it has a resurgence for something.
Mhm.
I thought they're doing a remake of The Lost Boys that I read 6 months ago. It'd be nice to get that in the movie, but I've stopped with, this roller coaster of life. Oh, there should be that.
Yeah.
It's very hard to live that way.
It'll drive you
Just
crazy.
do what's in your heart. Do what's in your heart. Put out your music. Put out good music that you like. If you can get 50% of the people to like it and 50% of the people to hate it, you're doing a damn good job. Okay. That's what it's all about. Dave Jordan told me that, the producer. He said,
Nice.
get the 50-50 on that. Everybody's not going to like everything. Everybody's not going to like your voice. Some people love my voice. It's like, it's time to stop now.
Yeah.
And just go about and do your business and do right. I know in my heart if something's good and if something's bad, So you have to know that to start with. If you don't know that,
Yeah.
then you got some problems. Am I talking too much?
No.
No, not at all.
It's your episode.
That's what we're here to do.
Yeah. We've been doing this show for almost 4 years now, and still one of the funniest stories ever. And one of the stories that if somebody was to ask me what's one story from all, we've done almost 200 episodes now, what's one story that sticks out? It's when you told us that when you were in the Ramones, Johnny hated paying for hotel rooms so much that if you were playing like in Vermont or New Hampshire and your next night was in Boston, you would actually drive back to New York City to sleep and then drive up to Boston.
Sure. We'd get home we'd always stop in this funky truck stop. That was all gay men, I swear. They must have had the peepholes. And it was usually around 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, somewhere along the turnpike coming home, Connecticut. It was always the same one because when you drive like that, you always tend to stop in the same places. That was a weird place, but we get home around 7:30. And then, by 3 o'clock, we'd be going again, back up north.
That's always just, I don't know why it's just stuck with me. It's just so funny that
Why?
I don't know. It's just like you could have paid back then. How much is a hotel room? Like $20, $30?
Right.
Well,
No,
you
we were in
piled into a
Holiday Inns. Holiday Inns were probably $39.95. The roadies, they went right to the gig. They didn't come back.
Okay.
Because we had like 3 big trucks, so they would go there. But we came back. It was like pretty stupid. A lot of stupid things. And it could be even in the wintertime, a lot of stupid things. I'm thankful I'm still here,
Yeah. You ever think about that? Like, moving to Alphabet City and kind of being in that scene it's interesting who makes it and who doesn't, but here you are still doing your thing,
Yeah. If I got that scene a few years earlier and got in with the heroin crowd, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here because I would love that too much, I'm an enthusiast. That's one of the songs I'm writing, enthusiast, I want to try it. I want to buy it. Where can I get it? That's my type of thing. I like to try stuff. So if I got into that crowd, that would have been the end of me. I know it would have been. So I'm glad I avoided that and only got into the, smokers, barbiturates crowd, saying like, and not went that route. So I was fortunate that way.
Yeah.
Being a little too young for that scene.
Right.
Well, the rest of us are fortunate too because we got to listen to a lot of your music.
Hell yeah. Touring in the 80s is so different than touring now. In the 80s, you're kind of like you have this mystique behind you because you're not meeting people after the show and stuff. And I know that you're really big. We played with you a few years ago in Annapolis, and one of the things that stuck out to me was like you would, after you played, you're just out there hanging out with everybody. One of the The only two people to sign my bass guitar are you and Claire.
Oh, okay,
Those are
cool.
the two signatures I have on my bass. Claire's pretty rad, by the way. Do you like it now? Like I went with social media and everything you do is kind of out there. What do you kind of like about that now compared to touring maybe back in the 80s? Or do you not like it?
Yeah, if there is anything to like about it. Yeah.
Two different things, you know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's the way it was back then, you know, hiding like, oh, catch a glimpse of one of those guys. Where are they? Oh, you know, like, and then running out the back door or trying to get backstage. It's just a sign of the times that's so much different. You know, some bands still try to do that now, which I find appalling. Can't go running away now, you know, it's so silly, you know, but no, I definitely like to come out and talk to the fans. A big part of that is if I don't come out and talk to the fans, I'm not selling any merch, you know. It's important for me to be out there to meet and greet them, say hello. They enjoy it so much, you know, they don't, you know, so I work for an hour and I work for another hour after that. So I guess I like them at both times, but those were both part of what it was. Now, if I was playing to 10,000 people all night, I couldn't go out front.
Right.
You know, it gets hectic in South America if I have 1,000 people or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I still come out. That gets really almost dangerous. You know, they have all this security in a thing, but the people are really pushing up on you. So that becomes a little difficult. I can't get nothing done, but I definitely like coming out. And I think it's important. I think it's important to show the respect, to show them that, you know, hey, I'm Richie Ramone. I'm just like you. I just do this job. Okay.
Right.
We're all the same, you know, and that really, and they really like it. They'll comment on that all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And, so why not? You know?
Right. All right. I'm going to ask you these questions that we ask everybody. We started doing this after we talked the first time. So, they're kind of random. They're kind of random questions. So, all right. First question is
stuff.
First question is: if you were on death row, what would your final meal be?
Coco Van.
What is it?
Coco Van, the chicken meal.
Okay.
Coco Van, look it up.
Okay, I'm looking it up right now. Hang on a second. I see a Julia Childs recipe for it.
That's Julia.
Well, that looks good. Chicken thighs, chicken drumsticks, red wine.
Oh yeah, that does look really good.
All right, that's a good one. See, and I learned something tonight too. I usually don't learn anything from those questions, but there you go. What's your favorite cereal?
Cheerios, just the plain ones.
Plain ones. All right.
No sugar, just plain Cheerios.
Okay.
Classic.
All right. Next question is if so one of they actually do this now. That if you decide to be cremated, they could take your ashes and form it into a vinyl record. So if you were going to have your ashes eternalized in an album of your choice, which one would you pick?
What, they can do it in vinyl?
Yeah.
They can, yeah.
It is crazy, but they do it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I would like it to be an Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass album.
Last question is: who is on your Mount Rushmore of punk rock? You get 5 people because you get a crazy horse. So what 5 people would you say if you were designing a Mount Rushmore of punk rock? Who would you put up there?
Well, naturally, all the brothers.
Gotcha.
Johnny, Doe, Dee. And we got to put Tommy. So
okay,
that's the 4th Ramone.
I'm digging this.
He was the inventor. So all those guys did everything. And the 5th would be Seymour Stein for taking a chance on the band.
Cool.
Nice.
What do you have coming up, Richie?
Well, I'm going to New York City for the Joey Ramone birthday bash. That's May 19th.
I just tried to get tickets for that, but it's already sold out.
No, it's not.
It's not? I couldn't.
So.
I went on Bowery Electric and it said not. It said no tickets available on this website. So maybe I'll keep looking. If it's not sold out, I will see you there. I'm
going to that, and then I'm going to go to that movie in July. That's pretty much about it on my plate right now, and working with this, writing for these movies and stuff.
That's awesome.
So I'm kind of home. I'm not really touring right now. Are you guys playing or anything?
No. So our bands have both like COVID kind of. We lost our not lost our drummer, but our drummer left. It's hard
Why?
to find
You
a
yelled
drummer.
at him? You yelled at him?
No, he decided not to play drums anymore for whatever reason.
No, he yelled
Well, there
at
had to be a reason.
No, I didn't yell at. I don't yell at people. I don't.
No?
No. So we haven't played in a very. Actually, I think the last show that we played might have been with you in 2019 in
Wow.
Annapolis. But yeah, so Matt and I we do this podcast every week, and we promote some shows in DC. We do about 3 or 4 shows a year in DC. With some, I work with some tour managers, and they hit me up every January, February. So we do that. You know, we keep up. You know, we have tons of friends and like punk bands across the country that we like to give kind of like an outlet to kind of promote their shit. That's what we do every week.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I've kind of gone your direction after my band fell apart because of COVID. I have gone the acting direction. So
yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
You two might cross paths one day because you both act in the same kind of movies. So
it's quite possible, actually.
Yeah.
Some of the people I've recently worked with, I think, have crossed your path a couple times.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so it may be possible. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't really tour much in the States anymore either. It's just not. It's not for me. You know, it doesn't really work for me.
Yeah.
Latin America, South America down there is magnificent.
Oh, it's killer.
And some parts and Sweden and Norway are really good, but
nice.
You know, a lot of these promoters don't want to pay any money.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a lot of work for nothing. And I don't like to play rooms where people have their arms folded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't need that. I need them to have the passion, or you know, go see the cover bands because they really like that, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not fulfilling for me to do that. You know, that's all. That's just me.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks, but that's the state of the music right now. And you know.
Yeah.
Well, here,
and look at it all over in England and everywhere. They're all like, you know, again, just be a little more choosy what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And it sucks for the fans who really want to see me. You know, the 30 people in Annapolis. You know, but I can't do it. You know.
Yeah, totally.
It's really expensive too now.
Right.
You know, flying, hotels, all that stuff adds up. Rent an SUV is like, you know, $180 a day. And now, you know. Well, man, it was nice talking to you guys. See you finally.
Same to you. And I'm glad you got stuff
I
going on.
That's awesome. How many times did I cancel? 14 times?
Nah, not 14. More like 3 or 4. It's all good.
I know there was a 3 and a 4.
We appreciate it.
Good luck with your acting and everything. And it's always nice to chat with you guys.
Yeah, same.
All right. Take care, Richie. Thanks so much. This will come out on Sunday. I'll send you the link.
Okay.
All right. Take care, Richie.
Well, man. Peace.
Later.
Bye now.